Steven from Minnesota has questions about cartridges. Thank you for all the information each week. Is it bad to use the Nosler AccuBond long-range bullet in a 6.8 Western with a 165 grain bullet on game within 400 yards, elk and whitetails? No, I wouldn't say it's wrong at all. I think that's a great bullet for that. I know that it has a thinner outer layer on the bullet and does not retain as much weight upon impact. I'm not sure what you mean by a thinner outer layer there, Stephen, because to my knowledge, it does not. The outer layer, of course, is the jacket. That's the metallic jacket. It would be a gilding metal jacket on the AccuBond. Some bullet jackets are pure copper. Some have 5% zinc in them, I think. Or is it? Yeah, would have been zinc at 5% or 10%. Those are called gilding metal. Makes them a little harder, but a little more brittle as well. So that's what you're talking about with the jacket. And thin jacketed bullets would be for varmints where you want the bullet to come apart easily. Sometimes you'll get a game bullet that is thinner up at the nose and then it gets thicker as it goes back to help control expansion. It opens quickly and easily, but then it starts to get tougher as you go back and that stops the expansion. But just to my knowledge, I don't think the AccuBond bullet has a thinner outer jacket than their typical bullets. But and maybe I'm wrong, but it's from my memory, I don't think that's an issue. At any rate, he goes on, with limited ammunition in my area, the choices are not great. So finding a high-weight, high-BC bullet in .277 caliber is hard. Barnes only has 130 grains available in the TTSX. Then question number 2, let's just finish this one off first. Stephen, the 130 grain in the TTSX stops there in the 270 because primarily 270 Winchester, the old one, been around since 1925, 1 in 10 twist. Those copper bullets get to be really long if you push the weight up. So 130 grain TTSX bullet, all copper, is probably as long as or a little bit longer than a 150 grain bullet with a lead core. That's why they can't go any heavier. I mean, they can, and the rumor is that they are working on one now that is going to be a 155 grain bullet in .277, and that is designed for the new 6.8 or the 27 Nosler or the new 27s that have the faster twist barrels. And of course, if you, going back to the previous questioner here, if you had a special twist barrel put on and made it fast twist, then you could load those bullets. And it'll be interesting to see if ammunition companies start loading the heavier bullets in 270 Win. I suspect they will, and that will be kind of exciting. So that's why you can't get the heavier bullet in the TTSX. But let me tell you this, you really don't need it because those copper bullets like the Barnes retain so much of their mass that they achieve what we've been trying to achieve by building these controlled expansion lead core bullets for all these years to try to retain more of the lead and penetrate deeper because we've maintained the mass of the projectile. And as it moves through the animal, it's got enough momentum in that mass to penetrate deeply. That's why bullets like, say, the Swift A-frame, which is bonded and has an extra thick jacket, plus it's got a wall material like a partition bullet from Nosler across the middle of it. It is just beefy as heck. And that thing will just keep penetrating because it generally retains 90% of its mass. The TTSX bullets I have had retain 100% most of the time. Unless they shear a pedal off, there's really no substance that's going to erode like lead would when it's pushing against tissue. So that's why a 130 grain TTSX bullet will penetrate as well as, if not better than, a 150 grain typical cup and core lead core bullet or even some of the bonded bullets. Anytime you've got exposed lead, friction against the tissue, especially muscle, hide, hair, there's a lot of drag there and it just kind of like sandpaper and it wears that lead away and you'll find your bullet looks like a perfect intact mushroom bullet. But you weigh it, and instead of weighing 130 grains, it's only 110 or 120 or maybe even 100 because you've lost a lot of that mass. So don't get too freaked out. You can shoot your 130 grain bullet in a Barnes TTSX and expect the kind of penetration you would get from a 150 grain bullet.